The real breakthrough here, and this is truly an amazing thing. GeForce enabled AI, and it enabled Jeff Hinton, Ilya Sutskever, and Alex Krizhevsky to be able to train AlexNet. We discovered AI and we advanced AI. Then AI came back to GeForce to help computer graphics. And so here's the amazing thing. Out of 8 million pixels or so in a 4K display, we're processing only 500,000 of them. The rest of them, we use AI to predict. The AI guessed it. And yet the image is perfect. We inform it by the 500,000 pixels that we computed, and we ray traced every single one, and it's all beautiful, it's perfect. And then we tell the AI, if these are the 500,000 perfect pixels in the screen, what are the other 8 million? And it fills in the rest of the screen, and it's perfect.
And if you only have to do fewer pixels, are you able to invest more in doing that because you have fewer to do, so then the quality is better, so the extrapolation that the AI does is better?
Exactly, because whatever computing, whatever attention you have, whatever resources you have, you can place it into 500,000 pixels. Now, this is a perfect example of why AI is going to make us all superhuman. Because all of the other things that it can do, it'll do for us, allows us to take our time and energy and focus it on the really, really valuable things that we do. And so we'll take our own resource, which is, energy intensive, attention intensive, and we'll dedicate it to the few 100,000 pixels and use AI to super res it, up res it, to everything else. And so this graphics card is now powered mostly by AI. And the computer graphics technology inside is incredible as well. And then this next one, as I mentioned earlier, in 2016, I built the first one for AI researchers, and we delivered the first one to OpenAI. And Elon was there to receive it. And this version, I built a mini version. And the reason for that is because AI has now gone from AI researchers to every engineer, every student, every AI scientist. And AI is going to be everywhere. And so instead of these $250,000 versions, we're going to make these $3,000 versions, and schools can have them, students can have them, and you just set it next to your PC or a Mac, and all of a sudden you have your own AI supercomputer, and you develop and build AIs, build your own AI, build your own R2-D2.
What do you feel like is important for this audience to know that I haven't asked?
One of the most important things I would advise is, for example, if I were a student today, the first thing I would do is to learn AI. How do I learn to interact with ChatGPT? How do I learn to interact with Gemini Pro? And how do I learn to interact with Grok? And these learning how to interact with AI is not unlike being someone who is really good at asking questions. You're incredibly good at asking questions, and prompting AI is very, very similar. You can't just randomly ask a bunch of questions, and so asking AI to be an assistant to you requires some expertise and artistry in how to prompt it. And so if I were a student today, irrespective of whether it's for math or for science or chemistry or biology, or it doesn't matter what field of science I'm going to go into or what profession I am, I'm going to ask myself, how can I use AI to do my job better? If I want to be a lawyer, how can I use AI to be a better lawyer? If I want to be a better doctor, how can I use AI to be a better doctor? If I want to be a chemist, how do I use AI to be a better chemist? If I want to be a biologist, how do I use AI to be a better biologist? That question should be persistent across everybody. And just as my generation grew up as the first generation that has to ask ourselves, how can we use computers to do our jobs better?
Yeah.
The generation before us had no computers. My generation was the first generation that had to ask the question, how do I use computers to do my job better? Remember, I came into the industry before Windows 95. Right? 1984, there were no computers in offices. And after that, shortly after that, computers started to emerge. And so we had to ask ourselves, how do we use computers to do our jobs better? The next generation doesn't have to ask that question, but it has to ask obviously, next question, how can I use AI to do my job better? That is start and finish, I think, for everybody.